Cardinal Sports Network brings you this special presentation. Event coverage starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Cardinal Sports Network's presentation of basketball at Trinity Valley Community College. We are coming to you live from Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym, where tonight the Lady Cardinals, ranked number 11 in the nation, will take on the San Jacinto College Lady Gators. I am Benny Rogers, the Sports Information Officer to the college, and I'm joined tonight by Joe Ellerson of the Athens Daily Review. The Lady Cardinals, as I mentioned, are ranked 11th nationally. They're 20-3 on the season, 10-3 in conference play, coming off a 20-point loss on the road Saturday to Jacksonville, while San Jacinto comes into the game with a 15-9 record, and they are 6-7 in conference play. Thank you for joining us on the Cardinal Sports Network, and as I bring Joe Ellerson in to tonight's webcast. Joe, the Lady Cardinals, they suffered a 20-point loss to Jacksonville Saturday, but last night in Jacksonville, Tyler went on the road and defeated Jacksonville 91-81, so that leaves the Lady Cardinals in a virtual tie for first place with Jacksonville and Panola. So basically what that does is puts the Lady Cardinals' destiny back into their own hands. If they win out, they're in great shape going into the regional tournament.
Should be a interesting test tonight, but as you as we've noticed here prior to pregame, two of the Lady Cardinals are not suited out tonight, and one of them is a big point producer for the Lady Cardinals.
Well, no doubt. Mikhail Miller is going to sit out tonight. She's not feeling well, folks. She comes in averaging 14.4 points, 4.5 rebounds, and has hit 32 three-pointers. And in the first meeting, the Lady Cardinals went to Houston and scored a 78-73 overtime win over San Jacinto. Mikhail had 11 points in that game. Of course, the big story on that game was Mercedes Brooks had 30 in that game. So Mercedes is going to have another big scoring game.
Yeah, and as you said, also another one out, Kishelle Figueroa. She will not be suited out tonight. So be an interesting look to see how the Cardinals fill those point productions from those two players.
We will take a look at the current conference standings on the women's side in Region 14, and there you see the Lady Cardinals and Panola both are a half game back of Jacksonville, but tied in the loss column. And the Lady Cardinals have two key games this week. Of course, this one against San Jacinto, which is going to be a tough outing for them at home. And then Saturday they travel to Paris to play Paris, a Paris team that came in here and beat the Lady Cardinals in December 73-72, and it was the Lady Cardinals' first loss on the court at Cardinal Gym. There were two forfeits thrown in last year, but on the court in 100 games. So the Lady Cardinals have lost once on the court in their last 104 games now at Cardinal Gym.
That's an amazing stat when you think about the legacy that has happened here at Cardinal Gym with the coaches that have been a part of here. So kind of interesting to see how the standings are sitting there right now for the Lady Cardinals and the rest of the teams in this Region 14.
Well, it really is. And then, like I said, you got to win at home against the Jacksonville team that you defeated on the road. And then Saturday, you've got to go on the road and beat a Paris team that's going to suddenly play with a lot of confidence coming off that win back in December. Now, that was no fluke win for Paris, because after Paris beat the Lady Cardinals, they reeled off wins over Tyler and Kilgore. And Paris hasn't done that in several years as far as beating those three teams who have kind of been considered the big three of the league if you go back over the last 30 years.
Yeah, and also, as you mentioned, just with the standings there, as people are seeing, Paris sitting in 7th right now, under 500 for the season. So be interesting to kind of see. I'm not sure if they have a game tonight or if they're open tonight. But
we can take a look at tonight's schedule. As you see, Paris is at home against Coastal Bend. That's a long trip for Coastal Bend all the way up to Paris from Beeville, Texas. As you see, San Jacinto here, of course. Panola's at Glen, Coastal Bend at Paris, then Bossier, Paris, and Angelina. So it's a pretty light night on the schedule. It's not everybody's in action. And we're heading down the stretch of the season. It's hard to believe that we're in the second week of February here and the first full week, but the second week overall. And this time next month, we'll be at the regional tournament in Jacksonville. Speaking of which, you saw Jacksonville leading the league by a half game over the Lady Cardinals and Panola. This week, Jacksonville's protest to get their probation overturned was denied. So now Jacksonville cannot make the postseason this year or next year. So it's a tough stretch of penalties against Jacksonville College, both the men's and the women's programs.
Now I'm curious to see with how Jacksonville's program happened, how the regional tournament will happen, if the fan attendance will still be as strong as it's been in past years out there with the appeal that has happened there now.
Right. Well, come tournament time, there's no way of knowing because Jacksonville's not going to be involved. I was thinking in terms of finishing out the season, they can play with a chip on their shoulder. Said, well, we may not go to the postseason, but we'll win the regular season conference title. So that's very much possible. But you're right. You raised a good point about Jacksonville and not being in the tournament on the men's and women's side. And the tournament this year is again in Jacksonville at the old Lon Morris Gym for our second straight year. So we'll be down there the first full week in March. March, I think, 4th through the 7th is the tournament dates. So we're a month away from that happening. And, of course, you have to win the regional tournament to be guaranteed a spot at the national tournament. Of course, there are, starting this year, as it was the case last year on the women's side, there are 8 at-large berths up for the national tournaments on both the men's and the women's side. So it'll be interesting to see where the Cardinals, and we'll talk more about the Cardinals tonight because we do have the Cardinals coming up tonight against Kilgore. And the Cardinals are currently leading the Region 14 Conference East Zone and overall, for that matter, and are in great shape going into the regional tournament. Of course, I think tonight wraps up the first half of playing the East Zone, playing against each other. Tonight wraps up that first round of that action, and then they'll start all over again Saturday when the Cardinals go to Paris. But we do thank you for joining us here on the Cardinal Sports Network. I'm Benny Rogers along with Joe Ellerson tonight. We're going to have the women's game for you coming up in approximately 7 minutes, and we'll hope you'll join us for that and then stay around for the men's game later tonight as the Cardinals take on the Kilgore College Rangers. The Lady Cardinals come into tonight's game averaging 69.6 points, and they're giving up 57.4. San Jacinto's averaging 73.6 and giving up 54.7. And, Joe, if you look at that Lady Cardinal average of 69.6, that's well below what the Lady Cardinals are usually this time of year. They're not as good a scoring team as they have been over the last 3 decades, for that matter, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, kind of having to take a different role with this team, it seems like this year, from different scoring outputs as you've seen throughout the season. You'll get some big games from Mercedes Brooks. You've had some big ones from Miller. Then you'll have a couple of mixed-in games with a mass of players, but a totally different lineup. But still, to have a 20-3 record like Coach Ewing has put together with a team like this, still very impressive.
Oh, no doubt about it. And we just haven't seen them hit the strides that we've normally seen them hit in February. But there's still time to do that. But you want to start peaking now as you head into regional tournament play. As you see Assistant Coach Scott Pellegrin coming back to the floor. So the Lady Cardinals probably aren't too far behind him as to returning here, as we're about 5 minutes away from the start of the pregame announcements. And we got a nice crowd filing in here tonight on a cold day in Athens, Texas. I think the highs today have been about 35 degrees, and that north wind has really made it feel colder. So hope you're all warm where you are tonight as you look on and get ready for Region 14 Conference Women's Basketball here on the Cardinal Sports Network. Cardinal cheerleaders in attendance. Cardinal regiments in attendance. The Cardettes are here. We've got a players in progress team, a PIP team, I guess is what they're called, with us tonight. They will be performing at halftime of the ladies' game. So that always guarantees a big draw for the women's game. As you see the Lady Cardinals taking the floor, and they'll be playing shorthanded tonight, as Joe mentioned earlier, as Mikhail Miller and Cashel Figueroa are out with illnesses. So the Lady Cardinals will be down to, I guess, 8 players in uniform tonight. So doesn't take but 5, as they say, but sometimes that depth can be an issue if the game is tightly called by the officials.
Yeah, big for that there, but also a big day around Cardinal Nation also and around the country as National Signing Day happened today. Lots of Henderson County area talent we had sign out with the Athens Daily Review and head coverage in our paper for tomorrow's edition, and a big day here at the Valley for your signing class.
Well, it really was. Sherrod Petit with his first signing class as head coach. I think the Cardinals wound up signing 38 today, and they've got 4 or 5 more coming on as preferred walk-ons that will be joining the program. But it was a big day. But, Joe, there's some Henderson County area athletes that signed with the college today. I'll let you talk about them.
Yeah, we had one out of Athens High School, Xavier Fulton. He signed here today. He's changing his kind of quarterback role that he played at Athens High School. He's going to come in and try and be a slot receiver here at the college. And big one out of Malakoff High School, our 2-time defending Athens Daily Review All-Henderson County Player of the Year, Judd Miller, has signed on here at Trinity Valley as a quarterback, and so he feels very privileged to join a former teammate if he's still going to be here in QT Barker. And so that'll give 3 Henderson County faces. And then on the softball side, Kathleen Rodriguez and James Rodriguez have brought in the Athens High School senior shortstop, middle infielder Tyler Green. She signed today, early this morning, as part of the 2018 signing class for the softball team.
Yeah, I know in talking to Coach Rodriguez, she was very excited to get Tyler's signature on that letter of intent, and she's got big plans for her for the next 2 seasons here at Trinity Valley and at Drumgoole Field at Kane Park. So we're excited about that. And we're about 3 minutes away from getting this one tipped off, as you can hear the 3-minute warning horn. And then we'll have Harold Jones with the public address announcer with the announcements and the starting lineups. We'll have the national anthem, and then we'll be underway here in what's a big Region 14 conference game, because as we mentioned, the Lady Cardinals have now pulled themselves back into a virtual tie for first place in the women's side of things, and that's with coming off a 20-point loss. So anytime you lose like that and you lose on the road and you lose big, you want to get that sour taste out of your mouth. So the Lady Cardinals really need to come out tonight focused and set a tone for this coming in, because San Jacinto, I should say, is going to come in believing that they can win here, because they've seen Paris do it now this year, and they've seen the Lady Cardinals struggle at home. So they'll feel like if they can get off to a good start, they're going to be around for all 4 quarters, whereas if the Lady Cardinals can get off to a good start, and we've seen that this year, they can turn the team back by halftime. And I don't want to say coast in the second half, because there's no coasting in this league, but you can pull the throttle back just a little bit.
Yeah, and Benny, as you said last night, as you see the number 8 seed TJC Apache Ladies beat Jacksonville last night, 91-81 in Jacksonville. So that was a big kind of shuffle right there in the standings. As you see now, Trinity Valley Panola only a half game back in the standings there for the top seed out of Region 14.
We'll have the starting lineups here momentarily, but I do notice that Alicia McElroy is going to start in place of Mikhail Miller, who's out ill tonight. So we've seen Alicia. She missed a lot of the early part of the season with some nagging injuries and what have you, concussion, but she's been really coming on the last 4 or 5 games and has had a couple of double-digit scoring games. So the Lady Cardinals are going to need a lot out of her tonight, because you got to feel like, Joe, that Mercedes Brooks is going to draw much attention from the San Jac defense, having lit them up for 30 points down in Houston.
Yeah, and she needs to have a big game for the Lady Cardinals, as we've said. And it's going to be a total team effort, being 2 down. But if anyone can pull it out, the Lady Cardinals can find that way to be able to bounce right back.
Well, you hear the Cardinal fight song in the background, so that means we're less than a minute to the beginning of the pregame announcements, the starting lineups, and, of course, the national anthem. So at this point, we're going to pause and turn it over to Harold Jones, the public address announcer here at Cardinal Gym. And he'll have the pregame announcements, the national anthem, and the starting lineups. Thank you for joining us here on the Cardinal Sports Network here on this Wednesday evening, coming to you live from Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym.
Test. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Leon Spencer Court at the Cardinal Gym for tonight's game featuring the San Jacinto Lady Gators and your Trinity Valley Lady Cards. The National Junior College Athletic Association, Region 14, and TVCC promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Negative comments or actions will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the facility. TVCC thanks you for your cooperation. At this time, would you please stand, and all gentlemen, please remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem by the TVCC Cardinal Regiment.
The national anthem is played by the Cardinal Regiment, and now the introduction of the starting lineups.
And now the starting lineup for the Gators. From Dallas, Texas, number 1, Alexis Jones.
Jones is averaging 14.4 points, and she has hit 63
From
three-pointers.
Houston, Texas, number 3, Erica Sidney.
Sidney's averaging 17.3 points, 4.8 assists, and she's
From
hit 64
Missouri City,
three-pointers.
Texas, number 4, Madison Glass.
Madison Glass is averaging 5 assists a game.
From Silsbee, Texas, number 10, Simone Carmenard. And from Pflugerville, Texas, number 22, Alexis Bryant.
Bryant's averaging 13.7 points and
Head coach
8.9
of the
rebounds.
Gators is Kayla Weaver. Assistant coach Nick
The
Winkelman.
Lady Gators are coached by Kayla Weaver in her 3rd season at San Jac and her 1st season as head coach. And Joe will also say it's her last season as head coach at San Jac, as this is the last season of Lady Gator basketball in San Jacinto. As San Jacinto
And
is
now,
discontinuing
ladies
its
and
men's
gentlemen, the
women's
starting
program.
lineup for your
Yeah, kind of amazing
Cards.
to see right there.
A 6-foot sophomore from Wichita Falls, Texas, number 5, Mercedes Brooks.
Brooks is averaging 17.1 points, 8 rebounds, and has hit 18 three-pointers.
A 5'4" freshman from Madisonville, Texas, number 14, Tradeja Smith.
Deja's averaging 4.4 points, 3 assists, and she's hit 17 three-pointers.
A 5'9" sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee, number 15, Rodria Echo.
Dee Dee's averaging 8.3 points a game.
The 5'10" freshman from Richardson, Texas, number 22, Arlisha McElroy.
McElroy's averaging 7.5 points, and she's got 12 three-pointers on the season.
And a 6'3" freshman from Park Forest, Illinois, number 32, Jada Wright.
Jada's averaging 4.8 points and
The head coach of the
4.3
Lady
rebounds,
Cards,
and
Joe
we are
Ewing.
set. We have both
Assistant
starting
coaches,
lineups been
Latoya
announced,
Howell and
we are
Scott
ready
Pellinger.
for Region 14 Conference Women's Basketball here at Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym. Joe, again, I think it's just critical for the Lady Cardinals to get off to a good start and wipe those bad memories of the loss to Jacksonville out of their mind.
Yeah, a big start for the Lady Cardinals, a big, huge year, and I'm sure the preparation has been made. The mistakes have been cleaned up since the last game there in Jacksonville, I believe it was. So be interesting to see how the Lady Cardinals come out tonight.
I always like to see if the Lady Cardinals are focused and going to play defense, because one thing they have done, even when they've struggled offensively, is they've still played solid defense. Now, Saturday would mean the exclusion today when they give up 84 points. You can't give up that many points, but you're prone to do that on the road sometime. But Jacksonville's playing at a high level going into that game, having won 8 straight games.
Just on a side note real quick, Benny, I'm sure Tradeja Smith's pretty happy. Her Madisonville Lady Mustangs did qualify for the playoffs this year, so congratulations to the Lady Mustangs.
She knows a little bit about Madisonville being in the playoffs. And we are underway, and the tip is controlled by the Lady Gators. Lady Cardinals will drop back in their traditional man defense. Directing the show for the Lady Gators is Sydney, number 3. Working against Tradeja Smith. Give and goes, no good, and McElroy takes off on the run. Lady Cardinals run the floor, and she gets a great pass to Mercedes Brooks, and Brooks lays it up and in.
Perfect look right there on that play as Mercedes was able to find the lane, get a wide open look there for the easy layup.
And almost a steal by Dee Dee Eccles, but the Lady Gators control the ball. Sydney puts up the shot, can't get it to fall. Rebound is pulled by Wright, and the Lady Cardinals are on the run once again. Wright had her mind made up she was going to shoot, then Brooks with the rebound. She's going to kick it back to Wright. Wright with a soft underneath shot, can't get it to fall. Point blank range. Lady Cardinals had an opportunity there, Joe.
Yeah, had a great opportunity, and earlier in that possession, Mercedes had a lane. Once again, it doesn't look like San Jac's trying to fill up that lane there.
Well, I think Carmenard had the right idea, but she made one too many passes there, and I think her better option would have been to have taken the shot. But the turnover will go to the Lady Cardinals, leading 2-0 early in this game. See members of the Cardinal football team across the way. I think I see some softball players up there, volleyball players up there. So the Lady all the programs are good, very good about supporting each other here at the Valley. Eccles with a spin move on the baseline, puts it up, can't get it to fall. Brooks with the rebound. Brooks with the putback, and she gets it in. And Mercedes Brooks, who's coming off a 30-point performance in the last time against San Jacinto, now has 4 quick points for the Lady Cardinals. And there's an unforced error. I say unforced. Mercedes was guarding and forced the pass, but there was nobody on the receiving end, and he goes out of bounds. Good start for the Lady Cardinals.
Yeah, good start for the Lady Cards. And as you said, Mercedes came ready to play once again. So it could be a big night once again for
well, you know how it is, Joe, in athletes, when they know a teammate's missing or 2 teammates are missing, they know somebody's going to have to pick up the slack, and they generally do.
Early start, it looks like it'll be Eccles and Brooks to take that role.
McElroy drives the baseline, tries to hit right underneath, and the pass goes off the right and is deflected and taken by the Lady Gators. San Jacinto still scoreless. Sydney with the drive, heavy traffic, and she puts it up and in. Nice drive by Erica Sidney. Not a fast start as far as scoring goes in this game, not a pace anyway. Lady Cardinals in their motion offense. McElroy sees an opener. She drives, puts it up and in, and it's going to go to the free throw line for the and one.
Great pick play on that one by Jada as McElroy was able to go the opposite way and find the lane there to get the easy and one.
And the way the Lady Cardinal motion offense works like that is just, as you saw, when they hand it off in a series of exchanges out front, but if you see that opening, you take it, and you kind of have the defense lulled into it's going to automatically be a handoff to the next player or a pass, if you will. McElroy, free throw attempt, bounces off the iron, no good. And the Lady Cardinals will hold to a 6-2 lead. Pressure defense in the half-court variety. Made the Lady Gators burn about 10 seconds there, just getting the ball across half-court and setting up their offense. Almost threw it away. Lady Cardinals seem to be moving awfully well on the defensive end. Three-pointer up. Three-pointer no good. Rebound controlled by the Lady Gators. Three-pointer up, no good, and it's just going to go out of bounds harmlessly. Sydney put up the three-pointer, and she's got 64 on the season, Joe. They got 2 players that are really good three-point shooters. Jones has 63, and Sydney has 64. And that three-pointer by McElroy is good.
Yeah, nice look there right on the corner there as McElroy is kind of helping out that point-scoring role tonight.
Arlicia, or Fat as she likes to be called, now with 5 points. 9-2 Lady Cardinals. Good start for the Lady Cardinals. Not a fast start, but a good start. You like to see the way they're working on the defensive end. San Jac decked out in black. Lady Cardinals with the home whites on. Sydney with a pull-up jumper as the shot clock expires, and the 2-pointer does count. Great job of Sydney recognizing that the shot clock was about to go off.
Yeah, second time there that San Jac's been in the shot clock situation, deep in it, but was able to get a good shot there.
Well, or at least you tried to do too much there and turned it over. Jada Wright with the attempted block, no good, and the free throw the layup is up and good by Madison Glass. Suddenly we're at 9-6. It was 9-2, a little 4-0 spurt here for the Lady Gators. Coming up on the 5-minute mark of the opening quarter here at Cardinal Gym. Sometimes you can try to do too much with the ball, Joe.
Yeah, a little too much, and sometimes it'll catch you, and sometimes you get lucky with it.
Jada Wright puts up the short jumper way off the mark, and here's a chance for the Lady Gators to cut further into the lead. 78-73 Lady Cardinals in overtime down in Houston back in December. But that was December. This is February. That was a big win for the Lady Cardinals as it got conference play off to a good start. It's like their second conference contest. Three-pointers up and good. And just like that, Carmenar with a three-pointer, and we are tied at 9-9 after a 9-2 Lady Cardinals start. This is a 7-0 run for the Lady Gators. See how the Lady Cardinals respond. They've been hitting the mouth a little bit here. Smith directing the offense. Gets it down low to Wright. Right back to Smith. Smith with a pull-up jumper. Knocks it down. Nice little jumper from the baseline by Tredasia Smith. Lady Cardinals needed that bucket to stop that 7-0 San Jac run. Nice drive and give from number 4, Madison Glass, and it's going to be a foul on the play. And we're going to have our media timeout at the 3:58 mark, and the Lady Cardinals with an 11-9 lead after having led 9-2 early on, Joe.
Yeah, big swing right there, but a big key bucket by right before the media timeout there gave the Lady Cardinals a nice.
Yeah, it was a nice job by Tredasia Smith of driving down low on the baseline and putting up the soft jumper just inside the 3-point arc, and get to thwart the Lady Gators' momentum. And I just felt like this is going to be a test for the Lady Cardinals tonight, because your momentum has been thwarted by that 20-point road loss, and you got a team coming in, San Jac, that you took to overtime to beat them at their gym. So and San Jac's got to come in here knowing that their season, you look at their conference record, 6-7, they're the middle of the pack as far as the Region 14 conference goes. They're gonna they'll make the regional tournament, no doubt, but you got to start working on that seeding now.
Yeah, Benny, as we come back to action, this is the first time we'll see Taisha Moore and Alicia Reddy come in for the Lady Cardinals.
And we see Gerald Ewing do this often, to bring those two in to spell Tredasia Smith and Jada Wright. And Taisha's got some firepower to her. She's got probably a better shooting touch than Jada does at this point. Of course, Jada's an awful, she's a freshman, and so is Taisha, but Jada's awful young. She was just 17, I think, when she arrived on campus. I think she's 18 now. But his first free throw attempt is no good by Alexis Bryant. She gets the second to fall, and we are at 11-10, just under the 4-minute mark here in this opening quarter.
And for San Jac, Victoria Blankenship, number 33, her first action.
And there you go. We see Dee Eccles getting the ball inside to Taisha Moore. Taisha Moore's got great body control in tough jams. Lady Cardinals still attempting their half-court press, trying to make the trap work for them. Doing a great job of harassing the ball handler. Can't go to sleep on the backside, though, and you certainly can't let the Lady Gators square up from 3-point range. That's a long one on the way. That's way out of range there. Yeah, Mercedes Brooks with the rebound.
Sorry, that was deep in the shot clock there, so it's kind of had to force that one up.
Mercedes Brooks takes it coast to coast. She now has 6 points, and the Lady Cardinals have got their lead back up to 15-10. Continuing to press. I think there was some steps taken there that weren't called. Looked a little awkward anyway. That's what I'm talking about. You can pressure the ball handler, but you can't go to sleep on the backside of the defense, and the Lady Cardinals did that just then.
Yeah, Bryant found Blankenship just for that easy bucket.
Tredasia Smith puts up a 3-pointer, no good. Long rebound goes to Alicia Reddy. Reddy back out to Smith. Spreading the floor with their offense are the Lady Cardinals. Dee Eccles, need to get her going. Risky pass, almost, and it is a turnover. Nice steal by Glass, and she's going to lay it up and in, and just like that, we're back to 15-14. See, there's those mental lapses that you have, Joe, that get you in trouble.
Yeah, it's a tough one there because Mercedes really couldn't do anything because she got forced into a double team as the pass was coming into.
15-14, 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Lady Cardinals in their half-court offense. Haven't really been a running team this year as much as they like to run. Brooks with a move down low, can't get it to fall, and the rebound's going to be controlled by Bryant, and a chance for the Lady Gators to take their first lead in the contest. Lady Gators being very patient. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound is controlled by Taisha Moore. Not surprised to see the Lady Gators take a lot of time off the shot clock, try to shorten this game. Pass down low, inside I should say, to Taisha Moore. Can't get it to fall, and there's nobody there for the rebound except number 3, Erica Sidney for the Lady Gators.
Tough kind of situation there. Taisha just kind of forced it up there.
Long three-pointer, no good. She's going to knock one of those down in a minute, folks, because she can shoot those threes. She's got 64 on the season. Smith gets it down low to Brooks. Lady Gators doing a great job of defending the Lady Cardinals inside. Going to have a blocking foul. That really bails out Taisha there because she lost her balance. Of course, it was because of the foul, but it looked like she was going to turn the ball over potentially. As we see, Alicia McElroy and Jada Wright check back. Deja Daniel check into the game for the first time. Number 34, the only player back, Joe, from last year's 30-6 team that finished second at the national tournament for our second straight year. The Lady Cardinals did. McElroy for 3, no good. Rebound's going to be controlled by the Lady Gators. Got a chance to take the lead. Tradesha thought she'd done a good job of getting in position off the drive by Alexis Jones, but not to be, and Jones will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 to give the Lady Gators their first lead of the contest, possibly.
It's an amazing stat when you say that, Benny, that Deja is the only returning player from last year's team, and they're still 20-3 on the year.
Well, that's kind of like, remember the 2011 team that won the national title? Not only did none of those players return in 2012, but the entire coaching staff changed, and the Lady Cardinals won back-to-back national titles. That will never be done again probably in the history of the NJCAA, where you lose an entire team and an entire coaching staff as the Lady Gators with the 2 free throws take a 16-15 lead. Lady Cardinals going to play for the final shot of the first quarter, coming up on the 10-second mark. It's got to be a big confidence boost for the Lady Gators to play the Lady Cardinals this close in the first quarter, possibly leading. McElroy for a long 3, can't get it to fall, and the San Jac Lady Gators are going to take a 16-15 lead into the second quarter. So not the start, the Lady Cardinals got off to a nice start, but not the finish to the quarter that the Lady Cardinals wanted to see. And Joe, like I said, being ahead 16-15 going into the second quarter here at Cardinal Gym has got to do nothing but bode well and for the confidence of the Lady Gators.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, big there, and a 9-2 start to the quarter, and then as you see now, they get outscored 14-6, so the rest of the way. So, I mean, kind of an interesting little adjustment period right there for what San Jac was able to do heading into the second quarter.
You see Gerald Ewing there talking to his squad. He spent the first part of that timeout shaking his head. It's never a good sign when the coach is shaking his head during a timeout. Gerald's awful even keeled with his emotions, though. He never gets too high or gets too low, and he never loses the fact that he's got to coach his team. And a lot of times you can see coaches get too emotional. I think sometimes they suffer in helping their team get better when they're all fired up about the officiating or still crying or complaining about something that happened on the floor within the execution. You got to kind of let stuff go, put that back to be something that you can correct in practice and coach in the moment.
And actually, as you said, it could be a big adjustment period here as Miller and Figueroa are not playing tonight due to either illness or other circumstances that have happened. So got to find a way to get some points here in the second quarter after the strong start that we had to the game.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for the Lady Cardinals this year, as I touched on earlier, is they haven't been able to run. Their defense has not created a lot of transition points for them, and that's what the Lady Cardinals have lived off in their glory years. Not suggesting the glory years are over. I'm just saying when they've really had the great teams, they've been able to run and get points, and that's why they've been scoring 80 or 90 points a game. And this year they're just averaging like 69.6 coming into tonight. Back to action here in the second quarter. Moore with the move down low. Puts it up, can't get it to fall. And the rebound goes to the Lady Gators. And the Lady Gators with a chance to build on their lead.
Once again, as you said earlier, Benny, last year for San Jac to have a basketball program on the men's and women's side, kind of tough to see after all the legacy that you've heard of from San Jac.
Oh, no doubt. Certainly on the men's side of the ledger, you're right. And it's just hard to believe that San Jac will not no longer be playing after this year. A three-pointer's up and falls short, and Tasia Moore grabs the rebound. The Lady Cardinals go on the move, trying to get the ball inside to Deja Daniel, and they do. A little turnaround shot, puts up the shot, can't get it to fall. She will go to the free throw line to shoot 2, but you know she'd like to have the and 1 better. Really filling up across the way on the opposite side. As I see, just about the entire Cardinal football team is here, coming in, filing in. I'm taking that dinner has been served. Daniel at the free throw line. Lady Cardinals trying to score their first points here of the second quarter. Down 16-15, 8:56 mark. First free throw attempt is good. Again, we will have the men's game for you 20 minutes following this one. The Cardinals will be taking on Kilgore College as they close out the first half of North Zone play. Currently leading, and Daniel knocks down both free throws to put the Lady Cardinals back into the lead. So, Joe, it looks like we may be into one of those back-and-forth type contests here tonight.
Could be fun, could be nerve-wracking. We'll see how it plays out the rest of the way.
Well, the Lady Gators would really love to see a close game, I'm sure. The Lady Cardinal fans probably not so much. Although if you get the W, that's really all that matters in the long run. But you've certainly got yourself back in position in the conference race as the shot is up and good by Erica Sidney, I should say. Dee Dee Eccles with a pull-up jumper. Can't get it to fall. Moore battles for the rebound, but it goes out of bounds off Moore, and the ball will go over to the Lady Gators. Up 18-17. Lady Cardinals led early on 9-2. So you do the math and see how they've been outscored since that point.
Brooks comes back in for Eccles.
16-8, I'll do the math for you. Sydney continues to direct the Lady Gator offense. Three-pointer on the way, knocks it down. Number 12, Carrington Small, and the Lady Gators build on their lead, now up 4, 21-17. You don't want to let a team like San Jacinto run away from you. They're starting to play with a lot of confidence out there. Defensively, they're playing an outstanding basketball game. They're really cutting the Lady Cardinal options off. You see that hustling play right there, coming up with a turnover. That foul is going to be against McElroy. That's going to be her first foul. I think the Lady Cardinals have only had 2 fouls called on them the entire game. There weren't many called in the first quarter, thankfully. Each team with 1 foul here in this second quarter from Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym.
Yeah, Benny, there's been 1 on Eccles, 1 on McElroy, and 1 on Tredasia Smith.
So there's 3 overall for the game.
Overall for the game.
Yeah, one in the quarter. Lady Cardinals have got to buckle down defensively now. They're trailing 21-17. San Jacinto playing with a lot of confidence. And you see San Jacinto's attack, Joe. They're going to come in here and use the bulk of the shot clock. They want to shorten the game, get the really good shot, and not throw it away and turn it over like they did there. But that's easy to see their strategy tonight.
Mm-hmm. Sure, Coach Ewing's hoping that the offensive production will pick up after the tough game that they had their last outing. And 17 points almost midway through the second quarter here is probably not the way Coach Ewing wants to see his team right now. Not
the pace he's looking for sure. McElroy for 3. Can't get it to fall. Battling the rebound. Deja Daniel keeps it alive. Alasia Reddy picks it up. Lady Cardinals reset the offense out front. Alasia Reddy running the show. Alasia's a transfer from Stephen F. Austin University. Gets it over to Jada Wright, and she definitely takes steps. Jada's just a young player that the game still hasn't slowed down for her just yet, I don't think, but it will. And you can see she's got great potential as a player. Tredasia Smith's going to check back into the contest for Alasia Reddy. Lady Cardinals are really suffering, Joe, and certainly without Mikhail Miller tonight. They don't have that outside scoring threat or the consistent outside. And Tre'Dasia Smith with the steal, just what the Lady Cardinals need. She lays it up. Is going to draw the foul. So a great heads-up play by Tre'Dasia Smith.
On cue, Tre'Dasia says, I'll come in, I'll take that, and here we go.
I think the kids call her Day-Day. Got all these nicknames you got to keep up with here if you're a Lady Cardinal basketball fan. Tre'Dasia's free throw attempt is good. She's now with 3 points in the game. Lady Cardinals have.
DD just came back in to the ball game for Deja.
Lady Cardinals have been awful quiet. I only scored 3 points so far in this quarter. Now make it 4. And Tre'Dasia has 4 points. She comes in averaging 4.4 points a game. So maybe she's going to be one of those players that raises her game tonight in the absence of Mikhail Miller. Lady Cardinals have really been lacking from the perimeter shooting this year. Great steal by Mercedes Brooks. Gives it up to Tre'Dasia Smith. Smith thought about the three-pointer. McElroy will shoot the three-pointer. Alicia McElroy for 3. That's her second three-pointer in the game. She now has 8 points. And, Joe, just like that, because of what you did on the defensive end, you're looking at a 22-21 lead. It all starts on the defensive end for the Lady Cardinals.
Yeah, nice. And the run really started there when I believe it was Tre'Dasia came back in, got the steal, got the 2 free throws, and then it was off to the races at that point. Like I say, big play right there, forced San Jac to call a full timeout.
So here we are, 22-21 here in the second quarter, 5:48 remaining, as you can see there on your computer screen, and certainly a surge for the Lady Cardinals, and it's been a Jekyll and Hyde kind of season for the Lady Cardinals here this second half. They've had some games when after the break they scored 89 against Coastal Bend and scored 80 against Tyler in an 80-59 win. And you think, okay, they're about to take off and do some tremendous things offensively. Then you look at their point scoring since then, 65, 54, 66, and 64, which there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're pulling out the W's. There's just not the tempo and pace that you're accustomed to playing or scoring for that matter.
And Lady Cardinals still want to get that 20-point loss out of their mouths, the taste out of their mouths, and in a dogfight right now with San Jac.
And you certainly don't want to come home and lose after a 20-point loss and have to go on the road facing a team that's already come in here and beaten you earlier this season. So there's a lot of on the line for the Lady Cardinals tonight, in my opinion, Joe. Back to play. Lady Cardinals in full court pressure defense almost forced the turnover off the inbounds pass. See, TJC coach Trina Tillis-Horde is right next to us here on Press Road almost, scouting tonight. She's got, of course, games coming up against San Jacinto and the rematch against the Lady Cardinals here on February the 28th. So she's getting in some scouting tonight after her team pulled off a 91-81 win on the road last night in Jacksonville. A very impressive win for the Apache ladies.
Betting also, if you look at it, 5 of the next 7 games for the Lady Cardinals here at home. So it'd be good to kind of get a roll going here as you have the majority of your home stands.
Absolutely. You've got to win at home. Mercedes Brooks, who had 30 the first game against San Jac, puts up a little runner. Nice shot by Mercedes Brooks. She now has 8 points in the game. It's going to be Tre'Dasia's second foul now, and Alasia Reddy's going to check in, as I'm sure Gerald Ewing is going to attempt to save her to have 3 fouls to play in the second half if he can get away with it. Alasia's more than capable of coming in and performing. (24-21). Lady Cardinals need that spurt, that surge, that pull away. We're so accustomed to seeing over the last several years when we have an offensive foul that's going to go the other way, that Lady Gators turn it over.
I find it interesting. You said the Lady Cardinals are wanting to get that surge, that pull away, but San Jac is wanting to control this clock, so it's harder to get that surge and that pull when the other team is controlling the time so much.
There's no doubt about that. But you can trigger it defensively. If you can get that steal, you can step in front of that pass or make them make the wrong pass. Brooks with a power move, puts it up, draws the foul. I think San Jacinto thought there may have been a charge, a player control foul there, but the officials didn't call it. Again, as I mentioned, Kayla Weaver's in her first season as head coach. She was Michael Madrid's assistant coach for 2 years, and Michael's now at UTEP as an assistant coach. And Michael did a great job down at San Jacinto in his 2 years there. If you remember, Joe, 2 years ago, he defeated the Lady Cardinals in the semifinals of the regional tournament down in Lufkin and pulled off a shocker that night. Brooks puts up the free throw and knocks it down. She now has 9 points in the contest. She's the leading scorer for the Lady Cardinals, as well as for the game, both teams. Brooks is a transfer from K-State. She thought that was a little short, but it finds the mark. Now with double digits, she had 30 the last time against San Jacinto in Houston in a 78-73 overtime win for the Lady Cardinals.
If anyone needs to have a big game tonight, Mercedes Brooks is definitely the player that can step up and take that role.
They're going to call a trip here. That was a ticky-tack there. So that's going to go against Dee, number 15, Dee Eccles, transfer from Oklahoma State University. Dee has yet to score in the game. She now has 2 personal fouls as well. As you remember, the Lady Cardinals only have 8 players suited up tonight. Of course, fortunately, the officials have not really been blowing their whistles that much. People don't pay to come see a free throw shooting contest. 26-21 Lady Cardinals coming up on the 4-minute mark.
Will be interesting to see if the Lady Cardinals do get in foul trouble in some instance, how Coach Ewing is able to work that role.
Ooh, bite your tongue. Kick the ball out for the three-pointer off the side of the – that looked like me shooting there now, I'll just say it. Brooks runs the floor, takes it all the way, puts up the shot, it's going to draw the foul. It really wasn't a precision-type shot she was about to take there. I think she had no chance of making it, but she does draw the foul, so she was bailed out by the personal fouls. Mercedes came into the game averaging 17.1 points, 8.0 rebounds, has hit 18 three-pointers. I think it's very safe to say she needs her 17-point average tonight, Joe, if the Lady Cardinals are going to have a chance and be successful in this game.
And she's well on the way. She just scored her 11th point here of the first half of play.
And the last 3 have been at the free throw line. She's definitely been a great addition to the Lady Cardinals this year from K-State University. Gerald Ewing did a great job of convincing her this was the place to be if she wanted to kind of remarket herself and move on to another university beyond here. And there's a turnover that's forced by Dee Eccles with defending the baseline. Forced an errant pass. It bounced off of number 4, Glass. She kind of got careless there a little bit. I think she lost focus. And a chance for the Lady Cardinals to build on this lead, Joe.
Yeah, big right there. And let's see how the Lady Cardinals come out on this possession.
Well, the Lady Cardinals got bailed out by the ball going off of number 12, Carrington Small. Got to read these inbounds plays just like you do any other play. Mercedes thought about the 3. Gets it down low to McElroy. McElroy wide open. McElroy for 2.
Brings her into the double-figure column now as she's got 10 in the ball game.
Yeah, you look at Mercedes and McElroy, they have 22 of the Lady Cardinals, 30 points. I think you see where the scoring may come from tonight. Blocked by Mercedes, a great block by Mercedes. I think it's going to bounce off of the Lady Cardinals. Mercedes Brooks has just been the most consistent performer for the Lady Cardinals this season. I think that's very safe to say and accurate to say, Joe.
Yes, sir. Very, very accurate. Just great player and brings that D1 leadership to the Lady Cardinals.
Asia Moore with a touch and gets the steal to Alasia Reddy. Alasia's just going to take it all the way and lays it up and in. Alasia Reddy with her first points of the game, and just like that, the Lady Cardinals are off to an 11-point explosion. Well, nice drive by Glass. She caught her balance and prevented herself from turning it over. Three-pointer on the way. No good, and that's not what the Lady Gators needed. They needed to get a really good shot down there and try to stem this Lady Cardinal momentum. McElroy thought about the three. It's knocked out of bounds by Glass. You see the difference in the Lady Cardinals' body language, Joe. They're moving a lot better now. Dee Dee was open in the corner. She wanted the ball. I think she felt that three-pointer coming there, but Mercedes went back out front to Alasia Reddy with the basketball.
And a 17-5 run so far by the Lady Cardinals here in the second quarter. So big adjustments there were made after the first quarter, and the Lady Cardinals have responded well to those.
Alasia Reddy for three. This was going to be off the mark as the shot clock expires. It's going to be a shot clock violation officially, so it will go down as a turnover. Lady Cardinals going to stay with that full court pressure. It's really worked well for them, Joe. They haven't got a lot of steals, but they have really caused the Lady Gators some issues in getting into their offense as quickly as they may like to, although they are trying to take a lot of time off the clock. Great job of spotting the runner. Oh, that's a nice job of executing there. As Gladys and Mass on the drive spotted Alexis Bryant crashing down the lane, and she's going to get the chance for the and one. So that's just what the Lady Gators needed, with trailing by 11, 32-21. With exactly 2 minutes left here in this first half. So if you're the Lady Cardinals, Joe, you don't want to let the Lady Rangers finish with anything positive happening down this stretch. You want them to go in just a little bit dejected at halftime, and you go in with the momentum. So I think this is a very important 2 minutes here to protect that lead that you've got.
Yeah, it'd be big if you can keep it going into double digits at least there at the half. Make sure the momentum's there so you're not giving anything to San Jac when you come out in the second half.
You got to be careful with the Lady Cardinals. You can't do that. That's just unforced there. I mean, that's just unforced. What I was going to say was you don't want to be careful where you get yourself in where you have to force a bad shot up because you've tried to take too much time off the shot clock, but you can't do that. That's an unforced error. That's a sin in basketball right there. So a chance for the Lady Gators to go in with something positive here in this final minute and a half of the first half. Second quarter's fastly slipping away. They get the ball to a wide open down low. Great job by Tasia Moore of coming up with the block. Runner by Mercedes. She can't get it to fall. Alasia Reddy's there for the rebound. She can't get it to fall. Tasia Moore does, though. Give us 3 shots at it. We'll make it.
Nice aggressive play there, and the rebounds, too, by Reddy and Moore.
Great job on defending in the press that time by Alasia Reddy. Thought the ball was going to go out of bounds off the Lady Gators, but he goes off of Alasia instead. We're coming up on the 1 minute mark. Lady Cardinals with that 10-point lead, and I think Joe touched on it. You'd like to be 8 to 10 points or double digits ahead going into halftime and feel good about things. You don't want to let the Lady Gators finish with something of a spurt here. They can't really go on a run, I would think, with this much time remaining. I'll tell you, I've noticed her in the past, but Alexis Bryant, who I saw play last year as a freshman, she has great body control inside, and she doesn't look like she would have any moves maybe with her build, but she really does, and she draws the foul here and goes to the free throw line with a chance for 2 points for the Lady Gators with 53 seconds left in the first half, and the Lady Cardinals up 34-24. First free throw attempt is good, but when the Lady Cardinals get in possession of the basketball, Joe, what I was talking about down here earlier before they throw it away is you don't want to come down and use 25 seconds, then you have to force up whatever you can get in that final 5 seconds. Both free throws are good, and now we're at an 8-point game, less than a minute to go here at Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym.
I'm curious to see if the Lady Cardinals will just slow it down or if they'll try for the 2 for 1. But it looks like they're going to just try and slow it down. And
yeah, I don't mind the slowdown as long as you don't have to force up a shot just to beat the shot clock. And so many times that's what you see happen. McElroy gives it up to Dee Dee Eccles. Eccles for 3. Dee Dee Eccles for 3, her first points of the game. Lady Cardinals with 3 3-pointers in the first half. McElroy with 2 and Eccles with 1. There's a turnover, and just like that, the Lady Cardinal defense is going to pay dividends. Eccles takes it up, lays it in. 39-26, Lady Cardinals, less than 10 seconds left. You don't want to send them to the free throw line. You don't give them an easy shot here. And what a break for the Lady Cardinals. And just like that, the Lady Cardinals go in at halftime, Joe, leading by a 39-26 run. So how did they finish that half? What type of run was that? Pretty close. You can do some math for me real quick there. They outscored them 24-10 in the quarter.
So nice run there for the Lady Cardinals. Got to feel pretty confident there as you're up by 13 going into the break here.
We are at halftime at Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym. The Lady Cardinals are up 39-26. We're going to step away for a couple of minutes and rejoin you on the other side. You are watching Lady Cardinal basketball on the Cardinal Sports Network.
Starting Martins Mill, 17.
And welcome back to Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym here on the campus of Trinity Valley Community College in Athens, Texas. We are at halftime. Halftime is wrapping up with the Lady Cardinals ranked number 11 nationally, holding a 39-26 lead here at the half. And an explosion late in the second quarter to open the game up. Lady Cardinals did a great job defensively in that second quarter, holding the Lady Gators to just 10 points. And I'm joined tonight, I'm Benny Rogers, and I'm joined tonight by Joe Illerson. And Joe, won't you run down the Lady Cardinals scoring for us there in the first half?
2 double-figure scores for the Lady Cardinals in the first half. Mercedes Brooks leads the way, 12 points. Arlesia McElroy with 10. Then you have Rodriga Eccles with 5. You got Tredasia Smith with 4. Taisha Moore with 4. Alasia Reddy with 2. And Deja Daniel with 2 to wrap up the Lady Cardinals scoring.
Lady Cardinals got off to a 9-2 lead to start the game. They trailed 16-15 at the end of the first quarter, and they trailed 18-15, I think it was, early on in the second quarter. And from that point on, the Lady Cardinals just took off, and it was defensive generated, Joe, and that's what we talked about. The Lady Cardinals have made their bread and butter is getting points off because of the defensive pressure that they create and turnovers that they force.
Yeah, there was at one point, as you and I said, Tredasia Smith comes in, gets a quick steal there, and gets 2 free throws, and then it was pretty much off to the races at that point. They were able to build up the double-digit lead and be able to hold it. Didn't get under double digits at most points, was able to get it back, and then closed it out big to get the 13-point lead here heading into the third quarter.
Lady Cardinals brought a 20-3 record, a 10-3 conference mark coming into tonight's contest, but they're coming off an 84-64 loss on the road Saturday at Jacksonville. They're currently 10-3, as I mentioned, in conference play. They are tied with Panola at 10-3, and Jacksonville, ineligible for the postseason, is 11-3 on the season. Of course, the Lady Cardinals have won 16 straight conference championships, and that streak is in jeopardy if they don't finish things off the rest of this season. And before you know it, Joe, we're going to be talking regional tournament.
Yeah, it's amazing that it's right around the corner, but also what you didn't mention there in that little recap there was Tyler coach Trinity Tillis is sitting right here beside us, and her team beat Jacksonville 91-81 last night in Jacksonville to keep the Lady Cardinals there just a half a game back in the conference standings.
Yeah, when you do look at the conference standings, because you can see that Trina and the Apache Ladies, they had a stretch there where I think they lost 6 straight games, and they're currently in that 8th spot, and the only 8 teams make the regional tournament. So, and actually they're better off this year because you got to take Jacksonville out of the equation. So Jacksonville's going to be one of the teams that doesn't make the regional tournament this year in the 11-team league. And Glenn and Coastal Bend and Bossier Parish are also sitting on the bubble down there. So it's a great win for Trina and her Apache Ladies, and they'll be here at Cardinal Gym on February the 28th, and the doubleheader we will have for you here on the Cardinal Sports Network on a Wednesday night. I think it's the final home game of the season, as I recall. It'll be a doubleheader with the men and women.
And Benny, as you said, Bossier Parish currently sitting in that 9th spot. Trinity Valley still plays Bossier Parish one more time here in the regular season in this set of 5 home games out of the last 7 here at Cardinal.
Yeah, they'll be at home. Next Wednesday night on Valentine's Day night, they'll be at home against Bossier Parish in a doubleheader, a rare doubleheader with the men, as it seems. Although there are 3 or 4 coming up now, starting with tonight as we close out the regular season portion of the schedule. It's hard to believe we're already talking about regional tournament has entered our vocabulary, and we are just 30 seconds away from getting this going in the second half. And Joe, we'll see if the Lady Cardinals can maintain and sustain the momentum that they had to end the half.
Yeah, it'll be big to see there, and as you see right now on your screen, the upcoming broadcast schedule for the Cardinals and Lady Cardinals here down the stretch. But big key to see what will happen here the rest of the way for the Lady Cardinals here in the second half.
Yeah, we've got a busy month, the last half of the month for you here on the Cardinal Sports Network, and we look forward to bringing you these doubleheaders. I think all but one of those, I think, are on Wednesday nights. I think that the 17th is a Saturday. Well, yeah, it says right there, doesn't it? This is Saturday, but it is a Saturday. And to start the second half, the ball will belong to the Lady Gators, and we are about to be underway here in the second half at Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym. Joe, I thought the Lady Cardinal defense was really the difference in that first half.
Yeah, at the tail end there, big the way the Lady Cardinals were able to finish out that half to outscore San Jac 24-10 in the second quarter.
It'll be interesting here in the second half to see how long the Lady Gators stay with being patient and before they maybe go out to that three-point shooting prowess that they do have this season. McElroy for three, can't get it to fall. Mercedes Brooks battling for the rebound. She can't grab it, and the possession will go to the Lady Gators. Lady Cardinals with the same five that they started the game with on the floor, as is San Jacinto. Jones is one of those players you have to watch from three-point range, and she banks one in. I'm not sure if she called it or not, but now she has 64 on the season, and the three-pointer just gets them right back within 10 real quick.
Yeah, she only had 1 second left on the shot clock there, so as you said, they're still eating up that shot clock, trying to make sure they get the right shot in hand.
Dee Eckes with a turnaround jumper, can't get it to go, and that's exactly what the Lady Gators need, the Lady Cardinals, to come down and get a one and done. And you can quickly go on the attack, and you can whittle into that double-digit deficit that you're facing. Again, we'll have the men's game coming up against Kilgore at 20 minutes after this game is over tonight. Of course, the Lady Cardinals are hoping to get a home win out of this one. Blocked by Jada Wright. Jada Wright is a 6'3" freshman out of Park Forest, Illinois.
I'll give well wishes if he's watching to your broadcast partner, Tim Howard, as he's kind of dealing with some sickness himself tonight.
Well, we do hope Tim's doing well, but I imagine he's already dozed off by now. Offensive foul, that's going to go. That's a tough call going against Alexis Bryant. But, yeah, Tim called today, and you could just tell that he was way, way under the weather. And Tim's a gamer, and he would go if he could, but I didn't want him sitting here next to me talking to me if he's as sick as he sounded. So, anyway, but we hope Tim will be back with us next Wednesday when we have the Bossier Parish doubleheader for you here from Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym. Lady Cardinals on the attack. Tredasia thought about pulling the trigger on a three. Tries to get it inside of McElroy. That's ill-advised pass there. Alicia really didn't have good position. Tried to force that in. Turnover will go to the Lady Gators with a chance. Lady Cardinals continue to defend. Lady Gators continue to try to whittle that time off this clock. Shorten the game and think they've got one run in them to take a road win home with them. Pull-up jumper, no good. That shot was awfully flat, and Tredasia Smith pulls the rebound. Nice job of spotting Jada Wright, and Jada's open on the back side of the defense, and Jada just couldn't control the pass. And Mercedes Brooks, just like that, takes it away. The Lady Cardinals have numbers. A behind-the-back pass to Jada Wright, and he goes out of bounds off of Jada. And Gerald's going to call a 30-second time, or somebody's calling a 30-second timeout here. They're going to say it's a media timeout with the 7:06 mark. 39-29 Lady Cardinals, and there's an opportunity, Joe. The Lady Cardinals had numbers, and Mercedes maybe tried to do just a little bit too much with the ball.
Yeah, and that's why as soon as it happened, Gerald kind of looked at her like, come on now, slow it down, make sure you get the right play there in mind.
It's okay to be unselfish, but in that case, you have the numbers. You're going to go up at the very least, you're going to get a foul call and go to the free throw line to shoot two.
Yeah, so it'd be big there, as you said, trying to figure out the runs here. It looks like right now San Jac's still trying to play that let's take the time off the clock, see if we can get the best shot kind of mentality. But if it keeps going here double figures, they may have to kind of force the issue here.
Well, obviously, if they stay behind 8 to 10 points, at some point they're going to have to look to their perimeter shooting to maybe pull them out of it. But right now, I think Coach Kayla Weaver is very content with keeping the game shortened by taking time off the clock and thinking the fourth quarter you could come up with some kind of magic to just leave with any kind of win at all here at Cardinal Gym.
And Benny, as you said, with Alexis Bryant for San Jac, that last foul was her third, so she's playing in a little bit of foul trouble here now, and she's been playing pretty consistent for the Lady Gators.
No doubt. I mean, they would be a completely different team without her on the floor, some of the things she does. Not a real flashy player, but she does the little things awfully well. And she came in averaging 13.7 points and 8.9 rebounds. You don't want to take that off the floor. Jadeja almost came up with a steal. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Not uncommon to see the Lady Gators run it down. Three-pointer on the way. Won't fall. McElroy did a great job with her body control, coming over the top of the back and pulling the board. Kicks it out to Jadeja. Lady Cardinals need to get a good shot here. Brooks down low, puts it up and draws the foul. All day long, I guarantee you Mercedes Brooks can draw those fouls inside when she gets that good a position. It's going to be her first personal foul.
Benny, Lady Cardinals looking to get their first points of the third quarter here at the 6:24 mark.
I know, right, there's been a lot of action, but they've not scored. And that's one of the things I know that drives Gerald Young or any coach crazy is you come off that 24-point second quarter and then you go where you score 7 points in a quarter. That inconsistency is really what drives coaches crazy. Mercedes now with 13 points in the game and make it 14. Her last 6 points have come from the free throw line, so she's going to the free throw line a lot. See Victoria Blankenship on the floor for the Lady Gators. Nice little pull-up jumper by Erica Sidney. I was going to mention that Victoria Blankenship, she played at TJC last year. McElroy thought about the three. Got 3 seconds in the lane. I think Mercedes didn't clear out because she thought Arlisha was going to put up the three-pointer. She'd be there for the rebound, but when Arlisha went on the drive, then, yeah, that put her in violation of the 3-second call. So it's 41-31. As Joe mentioned, Lady Cardinals have only scored 2 points here in the third quarter. They've been outscored 5-2 early on. We're coming up on the halfway point of the quarter, too.
Tough thing, as we said, Benny, is this is pretty much the tail end of the run for San Jac's women's team as they are about to be ending their basketball programs at the end of this season.
Oh, great block. I think that was Mercedes that got a piece of that, or did you think it was Taisha? I think it was Mercedes.
I think Mercedes and then Taisha on the back end.
Yep, and Alicia did too much with it there and is going to draw the charging foul. That will be her third personal foul.
That's her third down for the game.
So you got to be real careful there because you don't have Mikhail Miller to go to, and they usually are interchanged with each other. So we're at 41-30 when Alasia Reddy's going to check into the game for Arlisha. Now, Alasia can do a lot of things well. She's not quite the scorer that Arlisha is, so somebody's going to have to pick up that slack. You'd think maybe Dee Dee would catch on fire here, you would hope, or maybe a Taisha get her the ball inside some, because otherwise it's all going to fall on the shoulders of Mercedes Brooks. Lady Cardinals in the pressure defense. Reddy working against Sydney. Got to keep close contact with Sydney. She's got 64 three-pointers on the season. That's what I'm talking about. Bryant does such a great job with her body and getting in position and getting herself in position to not score, draw the foul like that. And that's going to be 2 team fouls now against the Lady Cardinals, of course, it's a shooting foul, so Bryant will go to the free throw line where she can't get the first one to fall. Lady Gators trying to get within single digits for the first time in quite a while, Joe.
Yeah, be big right there, and betting only 41 points and 15 minutes left to go in the game. It'd be interesting to see how the Lady Cardinals can close out this game.
She does get the second one to fall. Lady Cardinals have been outscored 6-2 here in this third quarter. Lady Cardinals need to get a good shot down here. Fouls going against Tasia Moore. I'm just not sure what Dee Dee saw to make her think that Tasia was open down low there. I just don't know. In reading Gerald Ewing's body language, I'm not sure he did either. Have a media timeout at the 4:56 mark, and the Lady Cardinals owning a 41-32 lead. The Lady Cardinals led 39-26 at halftime. So here we are, Joe, just over 6 minutes into this third quarter, and just 2 points. That's what I'm getting at. You had 24 in the second quarter. And you just got 2 more than halfway into the third.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if it's adjustments that San Jac has made, or just the loss of Miller not being in the game today, as some of the Lady Cardinals may have to play a little bit more minutes than they've had to in previous games. But
and the problem is you got McElroy on the bench with 3 fouls. So now who's Mercedes Brooks is your scoring threat. Well, San Jacinto knows that, so they can have a chance to double up on her and dare somebody else to take control and put up the shot and try to take over. And now Eccles has that potential, but she hasn't shown it tonight. Tredasia's really not just a shooter per se. She directs the offense with great efficiency. Tasia Moore's one that we've seen get hot down the stretch and will put up 7 or 8 points real quick in a game, and that's kind of something that the Lady Cardinals would need too.
But also, when you look at it right now, Benny, you got McElroy with 3 fouls, Eccles with 2, Smith with 2, so could get interesting here to see how the Lady Cardinals can adjust.
Well, it certainly will, because you're pressuring the entire game, so that just puts yourself in harm's way a little bit more. Back to play. The Lady Gators trying to cut into a 9-point deficit. Got to keep an eye on Bryant, number 22 for sure. Offense kind of goes through her sometimes. She does a great job of working inside against Tasia Moore. There's a lot of action, a lot of contact there, but no whistle, so we'll play on. And Kayla Weaver just smiling over here, I think, sarcastically. Smith for 3. Can't get it to fall. Rebound's going to be controlled by Jada Wright. She gives it up to Tasia Moore. Tasia Moore puts up the shot, can't get it to fall. And this time the rebound is controlled by Alexis Bryant. Here come the Lady Gators. Less than 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
And I know we mentioned it again, but over 6 minutes in this third quarter, the Lady Cardinals have only scored 2 points.
3-pointer on the way. She has that shot, folks. She now has 65 on the season, 65 3-pointers, and just like that, you see what the score is. It's a 6-point game, 41-35. Lady Gators won't go away. The Lady Cardinals are going to have to win this one. They're not going to have it given to them.
Betting it was a 13-point lead at the half.
Brooks forces up a shot, can't get it to fall. Here come the Lady Gators. Great job by Tasia Moore of coming up with the steal, knocking the ball away. Mercedes Brooks actually gets the steal. Jada Wright inside, gets it to fall. Jada Wright, her first points of the contest, and they were much needed, Joe.
Yeah, very much needed to try and get a little bit of momentum back on the Lady Cardinal side, so that was a big play right there.
Back to an 8-point lead. You want to get a stop, get it back up to double digits. You want to finish the quarter strong, just like you did in the second quarter. Well, they're going to call a block. That could easily have been a travel right there. I guess there was contact, but that's kind of a tough call.
Gave Smith her 3rd foul of the game.
Yes, it gets tricky now for the Lady Cardinals because now then Alasia Reddy comes in to have to run the show. Not that Alasia can't run it. Ladies are going to need to pick up her scoring just a little bit as well because Alasia came in averaging 2.7 points. They need more than that here probably for the Lady Cardinals to be successful, and that's an unforced error against the ball goes out of bounds off Victoria Blankenship. 2:34, chance for the Lady Cardinals. They get the stop. Chance to build it back up to a double-digit lead. Where are the points going to come from? Mercedes Brooks is not even on. Yes, Mercedes Brooks is not on the floor now.
McElroy's on the court, and she's got 10 at the moment.
Eccles for three. No, can't get it to fall. Tasia Moore battles for the rebound, but there she is again. Number 22, Alexis Bryant. Very steady and solid player for the Lady Gators. 43-35, coming up on the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. Better be careful with Sydney and Jones out beyond the arc. I promise you they can knock it down. A lot of contact, no call. Dee Eccles on the run. Gives it up to McElroy. McElroy for three. Can't get it to fall. That's what the Lady Cardinals are missing, Joe. They just don't have that consistent threat or ability to produce from three-point range. You need that in your artillery when you're trying to pull away and put teams away.
Especially with the style of teams in this conference, no matter where they rank, anyone can bite you at any night.
Absolutely. Alasia Reddy, well, they're going to foul away from the ball, but Alasia Reddy is going to be called for the foul, I should say. That's going to be the 15th team foul for the Lady Cardinals. So now then the Lady Gators will go to the line for the double bonus.
Second foul there on Reddy. So
yeah, I think the Lady Cardinals are going to be okay foul-wise, but the problem is now you're your own worst enemy by putting him to the free throw line. Now just a minute 16 left, so you wouldn't think they'd shoot too many free throws in that final 1:16, but the clock is stopped, and that plays into their hands whenever the clock is stopped and they've got an ability to score. And Bryant very alertly, but Coach Kayla Weaver gets her out of the game to save her this final 1:16 so she doesn't pick up a cheap foul. Both free throws are good. Back to a 6-point Lady Cardinal lead. Coming up on the 1-minute mark.
Lady Cards outscored 11-4 here so far in the third quarter.
Tasia Moore with a turnaround jumper, can't get it to fall. Rebound goes to the Lady Gators. Chance to cut further into that deficit. Lady Cardinals led by 13 at halftime, 39-26. Gotten themselves into a bind here in this third quarter. And that foul is going to go against McElroy. That's going to be her fourth. She'll have one foul to give the rest of the game. Mercedes Brooks is going to have to come back into the floor. Again, the Lady Cardinals are playing two players short tonight with Michelle Figueroa and Mikhail Miller out with illnesses and injuries. So this game is playing very much into the hand of the Lady Gators, Joe. They've got to feel real good about where they're going to be going into the fourth quarter, having been down 13 at the half. Lady Cardinals with not much firepower. Not tonight anyway.
Being the last time these two teams played in December back in San Jac, 78-73, and right now you got a 43-38 game as you're nearing the end of the third quarter of play.
Yes, nowhere near that pace. Lady Cardinals need to get a good shot here, good possession. Ready for three. Can't get it to fall. Rebound's going to go to the Lady Gators, and Reddy's going to be called for the foul. That's going to be her third team foul. So, as Joe said earlier, it's going to get a little interesting here in this fourth quarter if the Lady Cardinals are going to continue to foul at the rate they did this third quarter. They were in really good shape after the first half, but things went ugly from the foul standpoint here in this third quarter, which now just has 10 seconds left and a chance for the Lady Gators to be within two.
You got Coach Ewing with three players right now in foul trouble. Got to figure out how to adjust to that right now as Reddy, Smith, and McElroy are all in foul
10
trouble.
seconds. 43-41. Brooks with a baseline drive, can't get it to fall, and we are going into the fourth quarter with the Lady Cardinals leading by a count of 43-41, having scored just 4 points in that third quarter, and they gave up 15, outscored 15-4. And Joe, that's what we talked about earlier. It just drives you crazy. You have a 24-point quarter and you have a 4-point quarter. That doesn't even seem possible.
Yeah, it's amazing to see what you can do and the way you can close out the end of the first half, then come into the third quarter and come out kind of cold for most of the quarter, as 2 of your points came at the free throw line and 1 came on a rebound by Jada Wright.
Somebody on the Lady Cardinal team other than Mercedes Brooks is going to have to just step up in the fourth quarter is basically what it boils down to, because you don't have Mikkel Miller at your disposal tonight because she's ill. You've got Alicia McElroy who's got firepower. She's also got 4 fouls, so she can't go full throttle and not going to play much in the quarter. So who's it going to be? Who's going to step up and do their part to pull the Lady Cardinals across the finish line? Because basically that's what it's going to boil down to, because they're struggling right now.
And Benny, as we said, McElroy had 10 at the end of the first half, held scoreless in the third quarter. So I know, as you said, foul trouble played a big role in that, but Coach Ewing's got to find a way to tell his team, hey, I need somebody to step up here if we want to pull this game out.
Oh, there's no question somebody's got to, because it can't all fall on Mercedes Brooks. There's just no doubt about that. And we will see if the Lady Cardinals, somebody has it within them to be the one that says, put it on me, give it to me, let's do it.
Gerald is going with the big lineup right here. He does have Deja and Jada both in the ball game.
Well, he does, and that's interesting. That's the first time we've seen this lineup tonight. We'll see if the Lady Cardinals do turn their attention inside and try to maybe at least get to the free throw line a lot here in this fourth quarter, because ultimately it may come down to that. McElroy is on the bench with 4 fouls. Jada Wright with a little move inside. Better get out of the lane. Dee Eccles with the pull-up jumper. Got it. Dee Eccles. They need to get Dee going. Dee's the most likely candidate, Joe, to get the Lady Cardinals going and to have a big quarter. I mean, she really is. Has the potential anyway. (45-41) inside the first minute of the fourth and final quarter. Well, that's an easy call there, as Jada Wright's going to be called for the foul, and that's her first. Scoreboard's it keeps running total has gone blank on us, so Joe's keeping track of that, so he'll keep you abreast of how the foul situation looks. Doesn't look good, but
Benny, it will be interesting to see if the Lady Gators continue to do that slow shot clock possession type game, or if they want to try and see if they can pick it up here.
I don't think there's any doubt they're going to keep doing what they've been doing. It's worked for them. They've got this game into the fourth quarter with a chance to win it. That's exactly what they were trying to do. Now, that's not to say they won't, if they get freed up from the outside for a three-pointer, they won't take it, because they certainly will. 45-43 is a one-possession game, which is way too early in the quarter to be worried about that, but that's what it is in fact. Nice job down low, but Deja Daniel getting the ball to Jada Wright. See what Gerald Ewing's thinking was there by getting both those players in the game. He pulled Jada Wright out and caught the Lady Gators napping down low. It's a great pass, too. Blankenship with the shot from underneath. The Lady Gators answer right back. They are not going away.
And it's interesting with Brunt still on the bench for San Jac that they're able to still keep this game close. So it's a good spread there, as San Jac's looking to gain some more momentum. Hope possibly can see if they can take either tie the game or take the lead here on this possession. And
Jada Wright turns it over on the baseline, so a chance for the Lady Gators to tie or even take the lead with a three-pointer here. What a shot in the arm that would be for them. They do have some three-point shooters that can get it done. Got a foul inside. It's going to go against Jada Wright. Taisha Moore's going to check into the game. Taisha does not have a foul, so she really needs to step up her game. She can afford to come in and be aggressive because she's not worried about that foul situation right now.
Her and Mercedes Brooks have not had a foul yet in this game.
Lady Cardinals, as we mentioned, have already lost one at home here this year. I'd have to go way back and do some looking to find out the last time they lost 2 home games in the season. Officially lost 2 home games. Yes, they had 2 forfeits built in last year, but that's not on the floor itself. I'm thinking it's back to the 2007-2008 season was the last time it happened. Chance for the Lady Cardinals. You get a stop, you got to get a score. You're going to put a team away. Brooks for 3. Way short. Rebound goes to Deja Daniel. Deja Daniel with the bucket. She's got 4 points in the contest. So the 2 post players are coming through here now in this fourth quarter early on. San Jacinto playing at Cardinal Gym for the final time in the final year of their program. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound controlled by Tasia Moore. Lady Cardinals on the run. Dee Dee Eccles with a pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound goes to the Lady Gators. The Lady Cardinals get the stop, can't get the convert. Tasia Moore with a block. Lady Cardinals on the run. Deja underneath, draws the foul. The pass from Tredasia Smith. Got to get points out of it, Joe. You can't get back-to-back stops and come away with no points.
Yeah, good point right there. And Benny already 6:34 in this quarter, and the Lady Cardinals have outscored their third quarter production so far. So big to see that start.
Up every free throw and every point's going to count here in this fourth quarter in a close game like this. And Lady Cardinals missed an opportunity there as the first free throw attempt by Deja Daniel, the 6'4" sophomore out of Killeen, Texas, Harder Heights High School, with the miss.
And as you saw, Bryant did return to the game.
So Deja gets the second to fall. It's a 5-point Lady Cardinal lead. Get you another stop, then go work on that lead. Don't let them spot up for a three-pointer. There she is again, though, Joe. She just has great body control inside. She's a really sneaky good player. She really is. As the foul goes against Deja Daniel.
Yeah, Benny, that was big there. As soon as she comes back into the ballgame, they automatically go to her.
Right.
So
and the problem for the Lady Cardinals is not a problem, but it's a situation to watch is that's 3 team fouls suddenly, and we're not even halfway through the fourth quarter. So you're looking at possibly letting the other Lady Gators be in the double bonus pretty early here. That's a lot of free throw shooting to come with the clock stopped, and that's the key factor there.
4-point game now, as you said. 3-point game, sorry about that.
Lady Cardinals have become a lot more deliberate in their attack, although a lot of it has to do with the fact that the Lady Gators have been playing some pretty strong defense here tonight. Lady Cardinals have run when they got a chance to, haven't always converted. To Asia Moore with a pull-up jumper, can't get it to fall, and one and done for the Lady Cardinals. You can't have those one and done trips, Joe. You're not even giving yourself a shot at a follow-up or a putback. (50-47), coming up on 5:40 left in the contest. Plenty of time. Which team has the right response here, this final remaining 5.5? Taisha Moore pulls a rebound. It goes to Mercedes Brooks. Lady Cards don't have numbers, but they push it down the floor. Tredasia thought about the three. Need to get a good look here. Mercedes Brooks for 3. Can't get it to fall. Taisha Moore working hard inside for the rebound. Can't get it. And the Lady Gators hustle and get the ball out. 5 minutes to go in this one. 5 minutes. We are halfway through this fourth and final quarter. Bryant, three-pointer on the way. She banks it in at the shot clock expires. Number 22, Alexis Bryant, and we are tied at 50-50 at the 4:33 mark.
Benny, I know it probably won't stay in the 50s, but only 4 times this season the Lady Cardinals have scored 50 points in the 50-point range.
If this one stays in the 50s, they're in trouble. Tre'Dasia Smith for three. She gets it. Tre'Dasia Smith for three. Well, the Lady Cardinals needed that one. They have a timeout on the floor. Lady Cardinals now with 4 3-pointers, and this is an immediate timeout at the 4:06 mark. The Lady Cardinals holding a 53-50 lead, and boy, I tell you what, it is. They're teetering on the edge, Joe.
Yeah, when you look at it, last time these two teams met, 78-73, Lady Cardinal victory at San Jacinto, and you're 53-50 with 4 minutes left in this game. So, gonna be another dogfight. It'll be interesting to see how both teams play the remainder of the 4:06.
Well, it really will. As I mentioned, Lady Cardinals with 3 team fouls now here in this fourth quarter, and San Jac will be shooting on the 5th double bonus. So that's going to play a factor. At what point does Gerald Ewing put Alicia McElroy back onto the floor? So far, he's gotten away with it, but how much longer is he willing to go before he gets another really good score? Potential good score out on the floor.
Yeah, big, and as you said, big also not having Kishelle Figueroa and Miller on the court tonight due to sickness and other injuries that they may be dealing with now.
Yeah, McHale, because of her scoring ability, I mean, she came in averaging 14.4 points, and Kishelle, because of her ability to give you some minutes on the floor to spare some players and buy them some time. Lady Cardinals stay in the pressure defense. Now they back out of it, applying token pressure. 53-50. This was going to come down to the wire, it appears. 3-pointer on the way. Got it. You can't let her spot up out there. She's deadly from out there, Erica Sidney. And just like that, we're tied at 53. Lady Cardinals trying to avoid losing back-to-back games.
At the point you mentioned earlier in this game, Benny, Mercedes Brooks averaging, I think, close to 17. She still has 14 in the game.
Well, we said if she didn't get her average, they'd be in trouble, and they might be in trouble. Lady Gators control the rebound with a chance here, coming up on the 3-minute mark. 53-53 from Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym.
Looks like San Jac will definitely play the slow roll as they've been playing all game. See if they can get a good shot here.
Very patient. A nice give and go inside, and the Lady Gators have got a lead as the shot is knocked down by Erica Sidney, 55-50. Lady Cardinals have got to answer now. They have no choice. In trouble, in danger of losing it at home for a second time this season. In danger of dropping a second straight game here at the crucial part of the conference race. A lot on the line. One second on the shot clock. Mercedes gets it off before the shot clock expires. She can't get the foul on the runner, and a chance for the San Jacinto College Lady Gators in their last trip into Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym to pull off an upset of the 11th ranked Lady Cardinals.
Trinity Valley looking to get back better than the 20-point loss that they suffered in their last game against Jacksonville. And
3-pointer on the way. Can't get the foul. Well, that would have just been crucial if she'd have knocked that down. Lady Cardinals have got to have an answer this time down. They can't let the shot clock run down as long as they did the last time. They have to force up a shot. Great defense. Eccles with a pull-up jumper. Can't get it to fall. Deja Daniel with the rebound and the putback. Can't get it to fall. Tasia Moore with a putback. And Tasia Moore has the answer. And Gerald Ewing calls a timeout. Taisha Moore now with 6 points. None will be bigger than those two. And the Lady Cardinals get a timeout, and we are tied at 55-55 with 1:25 left in this contest.
Another one of those plays where the Lady Cardinals just had to try and outwork San Jac on the boards to get the points, and luckily they were able to do it again.
And I'm thinking you bring Alicia McElroy back in now. I mean, it's not but a minute 25 left. There's nothing to save her for unless you're playing for overtime.
Yeah, and I never saw her come over to the scorer's table, so I do not believe she'll be back in, at least on this time out.
Gerald may just feel like the lineup he's got on the floor is
actually really change that. She is coming into the ball game.
Yeah,
now,
I would have been stunned had she not returned to the game. But she came in for
Mercedes Brooks.
But Mercedes had to have a breather. You got to give her just a couple of seconds to catch her breath because she's played pretty much the entire game. She's not been in foul trouble. This was going to be good down the final 125 and counting. You can't let them spot up for the three-pointer. The Lady Cardinals have already seen that. She's looking to shoot that three. She's wanting to shoot that three. You can just see it. You can read her body language. 5 on the shot clock. They've hit 2 3-pointers at the shot clock buzzer tonight. Layup is no good, and the shot clock's going to expire, and the possession will go to the Lady Cardinals. That was a critical defensive series, and there, Joe, I think that the Lady Gators were too patient with what they were trying to do.
And as we said, give her a breather, and look who comes back in. Mercedes Brooks replaces Deja Daniel here in the final 53 seconds.
Yeah, you have your starting lineup back on the floor now to wrap this thing up. You can be patient, but you don't want to have to force up a shot because then San Jac can come down and play for the final shot on your floor. Well, you'd like to see somebody knock down a three if they got a really good look at it. Oh, that's a dangerous pass. Shot clock's expiring. Kicks it out to Mercedes. Mercedes drives the baseline, gives it up to a crashing Jada Wright, and Jada Wright hits the shot with 24.1 seconds left. Kayla Weaver's calling a timeout, but a great job by Mercedes Brooks driving the baseline and dishing it off to Jada Wright.
Big play right there, perfect time to find the right look there, and as you said, the coach makes sure that the inbounds play will be on the side. So big play there. Taisha Moore will be checking in here on this.
And the great thing about it is, Joe, the Lady Cardinals have played since they picked up that third foul about 2.5 minutes ago. They've not picked up that fourth. So they've got a foul to give. If they get a ticky-tack foul in the backcourt, no problem. They won't send them to the free throw line.
And actually, I believe on the inbounds play, it will be coming from half court.
It will be because of the new rules. You're right about that. I lost track of that. But the point is still the same, though.
Right.
You can play them down, and if you decide you want to foul, you can do that and make them have to inbounds again. But you just got to make sure you don't do it on a shot, so they can put up something that can hurt you from the free throw line or actually hitting the shot, I should say. Be reminded, we will have the men's game for you against Kilgore coming up 20 minutes upon the conclusion of this one. We hope you'll stay with us on the Cardinal Sports Network. We thank you for joining us for this one tonight, especially to our fans from down in the Houston way, the San Jac fans, for looking in tonight. I'm sure there's some of those of you looking in, and your team has represented itself awfully well and still got a shot to win this game, which would be a huge road win for Kayla Weaver and the Lady Gators in their final trip ever to Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym. Back to play, 24.1 seconds. Lady Cardinals lead by 2. The Lady Gators, Joe, very dangerous from three-point range. With number 1, Alexis Jones, and number 3, Erica Sidney. You've got to watch them. You've got to watch them.
And both players are in the ball game right now.
Oh, no doubt about that. You can't let them spot up. You can't let them spot up. And there's going to be a foul called, and there was definitely a foul. That's a great job of Kayla Weaver drawing up that play where you try to get penetration to draw the foul. You've got to hit both free throws, but you did leave the Lady Cardinals 11.2 seconds in the event you hit both of them.
Yeah, and the foul was on Tredacia Smith, so that gives her 4 now for the ball game.
Yeah, now you got to look at the situation. Of course, you don't want to get to overtime, but you can't worry about who you might have around for overtime. You got to try to win this basketball game. You certainly don't take Tredacia out with 11 seconds left with 4 fouls. So that's going to send Sydney to the free throw line. She's got 17 points in the game for the Lady Gators. The crowd's really getting into it. First free throw attempt is up and good, nothing but net. So she's got a chance to tie it now. Then the Lady Cardinals have one timeout left. The Lady Gators have 2 timeouts left. Gerald would probably use his timeout to get the ball at half court if she makes this free throw.
Looks like that's what he was discussing with the ref right there.
You got to be careful if she misses that you don't let the rebound go awry, and it's not a factor. We're tied at 57-57 at the 11.2 mark left here in this fourth and final quarter. We were tied at 50-50 at the 4:33 mark, Joe, so there's only been a 7-7 standoff since that point, so the pace has not been anything crazy as far as the scoring goes for sure. But the Lady Cardinals with a chance to win it at home. And look at, we were talking about the foul situation for the Lady Cardinals. They now have 4. San Jac's only got 1. They've got tons of fouls to give. They could foul 3 times. And, of course, the Lady Cardinals have to continue to reset and inbounds the ball. And I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, although you got to be real careful and not get an intentional foul or a flagrant foul just by trying to get a foul, which I don't think they'll go that route. I'm just saying it's an option for them.
Yeah, and Jada Wright will be rechecking back into the ball game after this timeout is over. Try to get a big body there, hopefully in the inside. If anything happens to come off a board, that she can go up for an easy shot.
You've got to be very careful for the Lady Cardinals here. If you try to get some penetration, that you don't get the charge called and turn the ball over and then leave San Jac with any time to come back down and do something with the basketball. But the Lady Cardinals will have it on the inbounds from half court, in front of them near their own bench. 11.2 seconds left in the contest. Who can do it? Can somebody pull off some magic for the Lady Cardinals, or will we be looking at an overtime period? Get the ball down to Alicia McElroy. Back to Dee Dee Eccles. And what did I just say? What did I just say? And Kayla Weaver's going to call the timeout, going to have the ball at half court, and I hadn't said it 20 seconds ago, folks. You got to be careful if you try to penetrate in a game this close with as much on the line. You just have to be.
4 seconds left. Taja Moore will be checking back into the ball game. I'm sure she'll probably be replacing Rogeria, I would imagine, to see there. So we'll see what happens here in this final 4 seconds of the game.
Great chance for the Lady Gators here with 4.6 seconds. Get the ball at half court to go out a winner in your final game ever at Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym.
And Benny, there's a chance both games between Trinity Valley and San Jac this year, no more than 5 points.
And they both could go in overtime too.
Possibility.
I mean, yeah, there really is. Lady Cardinals have got to be real careful here, Joe. They do have that 5th team foul, so another foul, and they would send San Jac to the line with a chance to win it at the free throw line. So you got to be real careful. You got to play great position defense. You got another timeout by Kayla Weaver. She wanted to see how the Lady Cardinals might be going to set up defensively, and she's wanted to take another look at it and have more time to design the play that she wants to get. Would not be surprised, Joe, if she went with the penetration and tried to draw the foul, but you got those 2 great three-point shooters too, so if they got uncovered out front, you wouldn't be as scared to let them put one up because you want to go for the win on the road. You go for the win on the road. You play for overtime at home, you go for the win on the road.
Yeah, and if you got a chance to be able to pull off the upset in the final trip to Cardinal Gym ever in your program history, that would be big for the Lady Gators in their final stretch run of their season. So
both teams are out of timeouts. There will be no more timeouts called, or if there will, it'll cost you a technical foul, but in 4.6 seconds, I don't think there'll be much need for one. So the Lady Cardinals have got to play it real close here defensively, but they've got to be careful because a foul will send them to the free throw line to shoot 2. There was a lazy pass, 3-pointer on the way, in and out, no good. Rebound's going to go to Dee Dee Eccles. She throws up a shot after the buzzer, and we are headed to overtime, tied 57-57.
As you just said, second straight game here in this series this year, as both games have now gone to overtime.
Yep, 78-73 down in Houston. I think that was tied 68-68 at the end of regulation. It might have been 67-67. But nonetheless, it did go into overtime. The Lady Cardinals pulled it out 78-73. And now then, Joe, it gets back to something you've been keeping track of today. It's the foul situation because, you know, you've got Alicia McElroy with 4. You now have
Tredasia with 4.
Tredasia with 4.
Alasia with 3 and Rodriguez with 3.
Yeah, it's.
Other than that, you've got Jada with 2, Deja with 1, and Mercedes with 1.
Well, this is Region 14 Conference basketball. This is what it's all about. And this year in the women's race, it's certainly been close up and down, top to bottom. You've had some blowouts that made you scratch your heads, and you've had some close games that made you scratch your heads. It's been a little bit of something for everyone in Region 14 Conference on the women's side this year. But the Lady Cardinals have really got a fight on their hands here. The odds might be stacked against them a little bit, Joe, in the foul situation. So we'll have to see how this is going to play out.
And Benny, as we said, next game for the Lady Cardinals at Paris. The last time they played them, they lost 72-71.
Right, here at Cardinal Gym. So you don't want to go into that game riding a 2-game losing streak, and you certainly don't lose your second game at home within a season, which would be for the first time. I think that's happened since the 2007-2008 season. Tip is controlled by the Lady Cardinals. Need to get off to a good start here. Get some good positive vibes here to start the overtime period. It was a dangerous pass between 2 defenders. Three-pointer on the way, but Tredasia Smith for 3. Is that positive enough for you?
Gets her into double figures now with 10 points in the ball game.
And you got to D up if you're the Lady Cardinals. You have to D up. You can't let them uncover for the three-pointer and get the quick tie. You've got to make them work for whatever they get. Sydney and Jones, 1 and 3, 3 and 1, can pull the trigger on the threes. As I was mentioning, you've got to D up and can't let them spot up and get the threes.
22 points now for Jones, for Sydney in the ball game as she just hit that one.
Lady Gators have had an answer for everything so far. Turns the ball over. Dee turns the ball over. Spot up for the 3. Got it. Erica Sidney with the 3. 3-point Lady Gator lead. Smelling the upset now. Smelling the win. Threatening to give the Lady Cardinals a second loss at home this season. A second straight loss overall. Dee Eccles with a turnaround jumper. Can't get it to fall. Jada Wright there with the putback. Much needed putback for Jada Wright and the Lady Cardinals. If you're the Lady Cardinals, you have no choice but D'ing up. San Jac in a lead. They can milk it a little bit. And they have the entire game. The pace has been what they wanted. No doubt about that. There she is again. Erica Sidney. That's the kind of player you've got to have on the floor that's not afraid to take charge when the situation calls for it, Joe.
And if she can find a way to get a 3, she'll get the 3. If she can find a way to roll on a screen, she'll go over there and drop the shot.
McElroy for 3. Arlesia McElroy with the answer for 3. She has 3 3-pointers in the game, 13 points. We are tied at 65-65. The Lady Cardinals refuse to go away as well. McElroy playing with 4 fouls. Tredasia Smith playing with 4 fouls. For the Lady Cardinals, you've got to D up from the perimeter. You've got to D up from the perimeter, and you force a turnover down low. That's why you play great defense, to force that turnover. 2:11 left, 65-65. Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym. Coming up on the 2-minute mark. Get a great possession here. Get a good look. Get some points out of it. Don't run the shot clock all the way down so you have to force something up. Dee Eccles thought about the 3. Tredasia thought about the 3. Dee thought about the 3. She crossed course to McElroy. McElroy with a baseline drive. Dishes it off to Jada Wright. Jada Wright draws the foul. Wow, what a lot of action there, Joe.
And as they say, Benny, Region 14 is definitely one of the toughest regions in the country, and it's proven again tonight that any game, no matter what your record is, any game can be a doozy of a game.
There's no doubt about it. And you talk about the Texas League and then the Florida leagues. They're two tough leagues. Jada Wright gets the free throw to fall. Jada now with 9 points, threatening to go into double digits. Wood with another free throw. 66-65 Lady Cardinals. Lady Cardinals have got to take care of business on the defensive end, Joe. They can't let them spot it for those three-pointers. They've got to make them work with what they get inside. Second one will not fall. Rebound is controlled by Alexis Jones. Here come the Lady Gators, down one.
Especially you've got to keep an eye on Sydney here as she's heated up. She's got 27 right now.
Of course, the foul recounts, team fouls went restarted, reset, I should say, at the start of overtime. Shot up. Jada Wright with the rebound. Now the Lady Cardinals can take a little time. You don't want to force anything up. Alicia McElroy. So a score here would be big. 1 minute left in overtime. 10 on the shot clock. Jada Wright with a pull-up jumper, too hard. Rebound is controlled by Mercedes Brooks. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. You can't run it all the way out, though. You need to score. You got to score. 15 on the shot clock. McElroy with the drive, lays it up and in. And they're going to wave it off with a player control foul. That's going to be 5 fouls now on Alicia McElroy, who appeared to have given the Lady Cardinals a 3-point lead.
It was called on Rodria Eccles, so her fourth.
So I apologize. It was called on Rodria Eccles, her fourth. Good catch, Joe. But there's 3 players now on the floor with 4 fouls for the Lady Cardinals.
Smith, Eccles, and McElroy all with 4 fouls.
Here, the Lady Gators are in a great opportunity here. Great opportunity. They're not even going to shoot in the double bonus, that's for sure. But they can sure get to the free throw line if they try to penetrate and get the drive, Joe. That's what the game. Now she's going to call a timeout. Kayla Weaver's going to call a timeout. So she'll have no timeouts left this final 10 seconds. We got 10 seconds left. 66-65 Lady Cardinal lead. If I'm the Lady Gators, Joe, I try to penetrate, draw the foul, and win it at the free throw line. I think that's the way I take my shot at it.
Definitely try that with either Jones, Sydney, or maybe even Alexis Bryant, trying to see if you can get the ball into her and get the foul that way. But
I think so.
I would think you're either going to see Jones or Sydney try and take this last shot here.
Well, the thing about it is, the Lady Cardinals have obviously got fouls to give, but you got to be careful about going that route because you don't want to foul on the shot. So, if you get a chance to get a tic-tac foul out front after 2 or 3 seconds expire, make them inbounds again, stop down. That's one way to play it. I don't know that that's the way Gerald Ewan would play it, but because I'm fearful if you make your players aware of that, you'll wind up getting a foul called on a shot possibly. You certainly don't want to go that route. Here we go, folks. 10 seconds left in this one. We are in overtime. 66-65 Lady Cardinals. Officials trying to say, I think, that both teams are out of timeouts. But Gerald's got 1. Lady Cardinals have 1. Kilgore's out of timeout. So, Joe, if they get in trouble here and can't inbounds the ball, they can't save themselves with that. But here we go, folks. Sydney with the ball. Pulls up, hits a shot. The block underneath. There's a block underneath. And the Lady Cardinals are going to survive 66-65. I think that was Jada Wright with the block, Joe. Is that what you saw?
Yes, sir.
Jada Wright with the block, and the Lady Cardinals hold on some way, somehow, and score a 66-65 overtime win against the San Jacinto College Lady Gators. My goodness alive. Joe, run down the Lady Cardinals scoring for us.
Mercedes Brooks leads the way, 14 points. McElroy with 13. Tredacia Smith with 10. Then you've got Jada Wright with 9. You've got Rodria Eccles with 7. Taj Moore with 6. Elijah Reddy with 2. And Deja Daniel with 5.
That's going to wrap it up from Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym. San Jacinto falls to 15-10 on the season, 6-8 in conference play. The Lady Cardinals go to 21-3 on the season, 11-3 in conference play. They will be in Paris Saturday for a 2 p.m. start. Been a great game, folks. We got the men's game to come in about 20 minutes, so we're going to step away for a few minutes, and we'll be back to rejoin you on the other side for Cardinal basketball versus the Kilgore College Rangers.